This is a list of all genera, species, and subspecies of the subfamily Crotalinae, otherwise referred to as crotalines, pit vipers, or pit vipers, and including rattlesnakes Crotalus and Sistrurus. This list follows the taxonomy as of 2007 provided by ITIS, which was based on the continuing work of Dr. Roy McDiarmid. Agistrodon, American ground pit vipers. Agistrodon bilineatus, Mexican ground pit viper. Agistrodon contortrix, copperhead. Agistrodon contortrix, southern copperhead. Agistrodon contortrix laticinctus, broad-banded copperhead. Agistrodon contortrix moccasin, northern copperhead. Agistrodon contortrix phaeagaster, Osage copperhead. Agistrodon contortrix pictigaster, trans-Pecos copperhead. Agistrodon howard-gloidi, castellana. Agistrodon pacivorus, cottonmouth. Agistrodon pacivorus conantime, Florida cottonmouth. Agistrodon pacivorus leucostoma, western cottonmouth. Agistrodon pacivorus, eastern cottonmouth. Agistrodon rauciolus, Yucatecan ground pit viper. Agistrodon taylori, Taylor's ground pit viper. Atropoids, jumping pit vipers. Atropoids indomitus. Atropoids mexicanus, Central American jumping pit viper. Atropoids numifer, Mexican jumping pit viper. Atropoids oxyguus, Guatemalan jumping pit viper. Atropoids olmec, Tuxtlan jumping pit viper. Atropoids picadoid, Picados jumping pit viper. Bothrechus, American pond pit vipers. Bothrechus aurifer, yellow-blotched pond pit viper. Bothrechus bicolor, Guatemalan pond pit viper. Bothrechus Gifaros pond pit viper. Bothrechus lateralis, side-striped pond pit viper. Bothrechus marchi, Honduran pond pit viper. Bothrechus nigroviridis, black speckled pond pit viper. Bothrechus nubestris, Talamancan pond pit viper. Bothrechus rowleyi, Mexican pond pit viper. Bothrechus schlegellii, eyelash pond pit viper. Bothrechus superciliaris, blotched pond pit viper. Bothrechus thalacinus, Morendan pond pit viper. Bothrocophias. Bothrocophias andianus, Andean lance head. Bothrocophias campbelli, Ecuadorian toad-headed pit viper. Bothrocophias columbianus, Colombian toad-headed pit viper. Bothrocophias hyophrora, Amazonian toad-headed pit viper. Bothrocophias microphthalmus, small-eyed toad-headed pit viper. Bothrocophias myursi, Chacoan toad-headed pit viper, equus red snake. Bothrops, American lance heads. Bothrops alternatus, Urotu. Bothrops amiditoids, Patagonian lance head. Bothrops asper, Tertia pilo/fertilans. Bothrops atrox, common lance head. Bothrops barnetti, Barnett's lance head. Bothrops bilineatus, two-striped forest pit viper. Bothriopsis bilineatus. Bothrops bilineatus smaragdinus. Bothrops brazili, Brazil's lance head. Bothrops carabeus, St. Lucia lance head. Bothrops codiara. Bothrops erythromelas, Catingo lance head. Bothrops Fonseca's lance head. Bothrops iglesiasi, Cerrado lance head. Bothrops ancillaris, golden lance head. Bothrops itapetiningi, Sao Paulo lance head. Bothrops jararaca. Bothrops jararacusu. Bothrops jonathani, Cochabamba lance head. Bothrops lanceolatus, Martinique lance head. Bothrops locurus, Bahia lance head. Bothrops lojanus, Logan lance head. Bothrops marajoensis, Marajo lance head. Bothrops medusa, Venezuelan forest pit viper. Bothrops mugini, Brazilian lance head. Bothrops nuidi, Noivitz lance head. Bothrops nuidi bolivianus. Bothrops nuidi diporus, Chaco lance head. Bothrops nuidi goyazensis. Bothrops nuidi lutzi, Cerrado lance head. Bothrops nuidi madagracensis, Mato Grosso lance head. Bothrops nuidi meridionalis. Bothrops nuidi, Noivitz lance head. Bothrops nuidi paramonensis. Bothrops nuidi poloensis, Black-faced lancehead. Bothrops nowidi pielhiensis. Bothrops nowidi pubescens, pampas lancehead. Bothrops nowidi urudu. Bothrops oligolepis, Peruvian forest pit viper. Bothrops pictus, desert lancehead. Bothrops birigi, Pirajas lancehead. Bothrops pradoid. Bothrops pulcher, Andean forest pit viper. Bothrops punctatus, Chaco and lancehead. Bothrops sancticrucis, Bolivian lancehead. Bothrops Teniatus, speckled forest pit viper. Bothrops Teniatus lichenosus. Bothriopsis teniatus. Bothrops venezuelensis, Venezuelan lancehead. Calloselasma, Malayan ground pit vipers. Calloselasma rotostoma, Malayan ground pit viper. Seraphidian, American mountain pit vipers, montane pit vipers. Seraphidian godmani, Godman's montane pit viper. Seraphidian petlalcalensis, Godman's montane pit viper. Seraphidian society, Costa Rica montane pit viper. Seraphidian Tsophzilorum, Tsophzil montane pit viper. Seraphidian wilsoni, Honduras montane pit viper. Crotalus, common rattlesnakes. Crotalus adamantius, eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Crotalus aquilus, Queritaran dusky rattlesnake. Crotalus atrox, western diamondback rattlesnake. Crotalus basiliscus, Mexican west coast rattlesnake. Crotalus catalinensis, Catalina island rattlesnake. Crotalus cerastes, sidewinder. Crotalus cerastes, Mojave desert sidewinder. Crotalus cerastes circobombus, Sonoran sidewinder. Crotalus cerastes laterorepens, Colorado desert sidewinder. Crotalus dorissus, South American rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus cumanensis, Venezuelan rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus, Cascabel rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus marijoensis, Marajone rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus marisli. Crotalus dorissus ruruima, Antirorima rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus terrificus, South American rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus tridonicus, Rupianini rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus unicolor, Aruba Island rattlesnake. Crotalus dorissus vagrandis, Uricoan rattlesnake. Crotalus enyo, Baja rattlesnake. Crotalus enyo seralvensis, Seralva Island rattlesnake. Crotalus enyo, Lower California rattlesnake. Crotalus enyo furvis, Rosario rattlesnake. Crotalus horridus, timber rattlesnake. Crotalus intermedius, Mexican small-headed rattlesnake. Crotalus intermedius gloidi, Oaxacan small-headed rattlesnake. Crotalus intermedius, total can small-headed rattlesnake. Crotalus intermedius omiltomanus, O'Miltman small-headed rattlesnake. Crotalus lanomi, Antlan rattlesnake. Crotalus lepidus, rock rattlesnake. Crotalus lepidus clobberi, banded rock rattlesnake. Crotalus lepidus, mottled rock rattlesnake. Crotalus lepidus maculosus, Durango rock rattlesnake. Crotalus lepidus morulus, Tamaulipan rock rattlesnake. Crotalus michelii, speckled rattlesnake. Crotalus michelii angelensis, Angel de la Guarda Island speckled rattlesnake. Crotalus michelii, San Lucan speckled rattlesnake. Crotalus michelii muratensis, Elm Lerto Island speckled rattlesnake. Crotalus michelii pyrrhus, southwestern speckled rattlesnake. Crotalus michelii stephensi, Panamint rattlesnake. Crotalus molossus, black-tailed rattlesnake. Crotalus molossus estebanensis, San Esteban Island black-tailed rattlesnake. Crotalus molossus, northern black-tailed rattlesnake. Crotalus molossus nigrescens, Mexican black-tailed rattlesnake. Crotalus molossus Oaxacan black-tailed rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus, western rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus abyssus, Grand Canyon rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus calaginis, Coronado Island rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus cerberus, Arizona black rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus concolor, midget faded rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus helleri, southern Pacific rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus lutosus, Great Basin rattlesnake. Crotalus oreganus, northern Pacific rattlesnake. Crotalus polystictus, Mexican lancehead rattlesnake. Crotalus pricei, twin-spotted rattlesnake. Crotalus pricei miquahuanus, eastern twin-spotted rattlesnake. Crotalus pricei, western twin-spotted rattlesnake. Crotalus pusillus, tansitaran dusky rattlesnake. Crotalus ruber, red diamond rattlesnake. Crotalus ruber XL, Cedros Island red diamond rattlesnake. Crotalus ruber lorenzoensis, San Lorenzo Island red diamond rattlesnake. Crotalus ruber lucasensis, San Lucan red diamond rattlesnake. Crotalus ruber, red diamond rattlesnake. Crotalus scutellatus, Mojave rattlesnake. Crotalus scutellatus salvini, Wimantlan rattlesnake. Crotalus scutellatus, Mojave rattlesnake. Crotalus simus, Middle American rattlesnake. Crotalus simus culminatus, northwestern neotropical rattlesnake. Crotalus simus, Middle American rattlesnake. Crotalus simus sabkan, Yucatan neotropical rattlesnake. Crotalus stegenegeri, long-tailed rattlesnake. Crotalus tigris, tiger rattlesnake. Crotalus tortugensis, Tortuga Island diamond rattlesnake. Crotalus teutonicus, Totonican rattlesnake. Crotalus transversus, cross-banded mountain rattlesnake. Crotalus triceriatus, dusky rattlesnake. Crotalus triceriatus armstrongi, western dusky rattlesnake. Crotalus triseratus triceriatus, dusky rattlesnake. Crotalus viridis, prairie rattlesnake. Crotalus viridis nuncius, Hopi rattlesnake. Crotalus viridis, prairie rattlesnake. Crotalus willardi, ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Crotalus willardi amabilis, Delnito ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Crotalus willardi meridionalis, southern ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Crotalus willardi obscurus, New Mexican ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Crotalus willardi silus, western Chihuahuan ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Crotalus willardi, Arizona ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Dinacastrodon, 100-pace vipers. Dinacastrodon acutus, 100-pace viper. Garthias jacini, Mount Kinabalu pit viper. Gloideus Asian ground pit vipers. Gloideus blumhofi, Japanese mamushi. Gloideus blumhofi, Japanese mamushi. Gloideus blumhofi brevicatus, short-tailed mamushi. Gloideus blumhofi dodentatus, tumbling mamushi. Gloideus blumhofi sineticus, Yangtze mamushi. Gloideus hales, Siberian pit viper. Gloideus hales baymite, Bohm's pit viper. Gloideus hales carraginus, Carrigan da pit viper. Gloideus hales cadmatus, Alashan pit viper. Gloideus hales, Siberian pit viper. Gloideus hales mogoyo. Gloideus himalayanus, Himalayan pit viper. Gloideus intermedius, Central Asian pit viper. Gloideus intermedius caucasicus, Caucasian pit viper. Gloideus intermedius, Central Asian pit viper. Gloideus intermedius texnegeri, Gobi pit viper. Gloideus monticola, Likiang pit viper. Gloideus saxatilis, rock mamushi. Gloideus shedauensis, Shida Island pit viper. Gloideus strauchi, Strauchus pit viper. Gloideus usuriensis, Ashuri mamushi. Hypnale, hump-nosed vipers. Hypnale, hump-nosed viper. Hypnale nipa, Sri Lankan hump-nosed viper. Hypnale zara, lowlands hump-nosed viper. Lachesis, bushmasters. Lachesis melanocephala, black-headed bushmaster. Lachesis muta, South American bushmaster. Lachesis muta, South American bushmaster. Lachesis mutarambita, Atlantic forest bushmaster. Lachesis stenophrys, Central American bushmaster. Mixcotless, cloud montane pit vipers. Mixcotless barburi, Barber's montane pit viper. Mixcotless brownie, Mexican montane pit viper. Mixcotless melanurus, black-tailed horned pit viper. Ophryaicus, Mexican horned pit vipers. Ophryaicus smaragdinus, emerald horned pit viper. Ophryaicus sphenophrys, broad-horned pit viper. Ophryaicus undulatus, Mexican horned pit viper. Oviphus, Asian mountain pit vipers. Oviphus monticola, mountain pit viper. Oviphus convictus, Indo-Malayan mountain pit viper. Oviphus magazaya, Taiwan mountain pit viper. Oviphus monticola, mountain pit viper. Oviphus monticola zaokentangi, Jailagong mountain pit viper. Oviphus okinavensis, Okinawa pit viper. Oviphus tomkinensis, Tonkin pit viper. Oviphus zayuensis, Zayuan mountain pit viper. Porthidium, hog-nosed pit vipers. Porthidium dunni, Dunn's hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium hesper, Kalimo hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium landsbergi, Landsberg's hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium landsbergi arcosi, Manabi hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium landsbergi huntmani. Porthidium landsbergi, Landsberg's hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium landsbergi rosii. Porthidium nasudum, rainforest hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium ophriomegas, slender hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium volcanicum, Ujaran hog-nosed pit viper. Porthidium yucatanicum, Yucatan hog-nosed pit viper. Protobothrops. Protobothrops cornutus. Protobothrops davishinensis, Davy Mountains pit viper. Protobothrops elegans, elegant pit viper. Protobothrops flavovirinus. Protobothrops himalayanus. Protobothrops jordonii, Jordon's pit viper. Protobothrops jordonii dorati, Borit's pit viper. Protobothrops jordonii, Jordon's pit viper. Protobothrops jordonii xanthomelas, red-spotted pit viper. Protobothrops Kolbak's lance-headed pit viper. Protobothrops mangshanensis, Mangshan pit viper, Mt. Mang pit viper, Mang mountain pit viper. Protobothrops mayulinensis, Maulon pit viper. Protobothrops mucrosqualmatus, brown-spotted pit viper. Protobothrops seversorum, three-horned scaled pit viper. Protobothrops tokarensis, Tokara hotboot. Protobothrops truncanhensis, Truncan pit viper. Protobothrops xiangshingensis, Szechuan pit viper, Cam Plateau pit viper. Sistrurus, pygmy rattlesnakes. Sistrurus catanatus, Massasauga. Sistrurus catanatus, eastern Massasauga. Sistrurus catanatus edwardsi, desert Massasauga. Sistrurus catanatus tergeminus, western Massasauga. Sistrurus miliarius, pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus miliarius barburi, dusky pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus miliarius, Carolina pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus miliarius streckeri, western pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus ravis, Mexican pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus ravis brunnius, Oaxacan pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus ravis exigus, Guerin pygmy rattlesnake. Sistrurus ravis revis, Central Plateau pygmy rattlesnake. Trimeresurus, Asian lanceheads, tree pit vipers. Trimeresurus albalabris, white-lipped pit viper. Trimeresurus albalabris, white-lipped pit viper. Trimeresurus albalabris insularis, white-lipped island pit viper. Trimeresurus albalabris septentrionalis, northern white-lipped pit viper. Trimeresurus borneensis, Bornean pit viper. Trimeresurus Brongersmus pit viper. Trimeresurus cantori, Cantor's pit viper. Trimeresurus erythrurus, red-tailed bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus fasciatus, banded pit viper. Trimeresurus flavomaculatus, Philippine pit viper. Trimeresurus flavomaculatus, Philippine pit viper. Trimeresurus flavomaculatus holliers. Trimeresurus flavomaculatus McGregor's pit viper. Trimeresurus gracilis, Kikuchi hotboot. Trimeresurus gramineus, bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus hageni, Hagen's pit viper. Trimeresurus canburiensis, Canburi pit viper. Trimeresurus karanshahi. Trimeresurus labialis, Nicobar bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus macrolepis, large-scaled pit viper. Trimeresurus macrops, large-eyed pit viper. Trimeresurus malabaricus, Malabar rod pit viper. Trimeresurus meadowensis, Machuo bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus pulpinarum, Pope's bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus pulpinarum Barat bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus pulpinarum, Pope's bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus pulpinarum Sabah bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus puniceus, flag-nosed pit viper. Trimeresurus purpureomaculatus, mangrove pit viper. Trimeresurus purpureomaculatus andersoni, Nicobar mangrove pit viper. Trimeresurus purpureomaculatus, mangrove pit viper. Trimeresurus schultzii, Schultz's pit viper. Trimeresurus stedsnegeri, Stednegers bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus stedsnegeri chenbihui, Chen's bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus stedsnegeri, Stednegers bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus stedsnegeri yunanensis, Yunnan bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus strigatus, horseshoe pit viper. Trimeresurus sumatranus, Sumatran pit viper. Trimeresurus sumatranus malcolmi, Malcolm's pit viper. Trimeresurus sumatranus, Sumatran pit viper. Trimeresurus tibetanus, Tibetan bamboo pit viper. Trimeresurus trigonocephalus, Sri Lankan green pit viper. Crotalines, temple pit vipers. Crotalines huntoni, Hutton's pit viper. Crotalines laticinctus, broad-banded temple pit viper. Crotalines subannulatus, Bornean-keeled green pit viper. Crotalines wagleri, Wagler's pit viper. References